Okay, welcome to Unit 2 for your geography. This is about physical geography, which focuses mainly on the planet, as well as its features like the solar system and atmosphere. Okay, so when we look at this, we can see that it has to do mainly with our Earth and Sun, so the solar system itself, as well as the objects that move about it, including planets, moons, and asteroids all throughout the solar system. The orbit or path of which these objects move can be centralized around something like the sun. In many different galaxies, they have these larger stars that go around, and they actually go around other stars that are much larger. But when we have ours, we can see that it's planets that go around the sun in somewhat of a circular motion. Some are more like ovals. A satellite is what these are also called. It's a body that orbits a larger body, such as our moon that goes around our Earth. Part of the Earth's movement consists in different ways. A rotation is one complete spin of the Earth on its axis, or 1 day. The revolution is one complete orbit around the sun, which is 1 year, about 365.25 days, which is why we later have that extra February couple of days, or less days. A tilt on our axis allows for kind of an imaginary line that runs from the North Pole through the Earth's center to the South Pole. The Arctic Circle, the line of latitude located in 66.5 degrees north of the equator. The Antarctic Circle, which is the line of latitude located 66.5 degrees south of the equator. Your Tropic of Cancer, which is latitude 23.5 degrees north of the equator, and Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23.5 degrees south. Okay, and you look at those, you can kind of see where they're located between the June and December solstice as we go around the sun and its reflection hitting the Earth. Okay, so our solstices and equinoxes. On June 21st and December 22nd, we have the summer and winter solstices. Okay, you can see that in the picture. The solstice is a 2-day, year-round situation in which the sun's rays strike the equator directly. The longest days of the sunlight for each season happen during a solstice. March 21st and September 23rd have the northern hemisphere in equinoxes for the spring and the fall. An equinox is when day and night in both hemispheres are of equal length, and 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of nighttime everywhere on Earth. When we look at the layered traits of the Earth, after this is seen through the solar system, we can see that the Earth is made up of many different characteristics, some of which are the core, which is the center of the Earth, a dense, solid mix of hot iron and other metals that are in a lava form. The mantle, which is the layer of hot, dense rock about 1,800 miles thick, and the crust, which is a thin, rocky shell that forms the surface of the Earth. It consists of plates, making the crust in constant motion, which is why we have our earthquakes. Parts of the crust contain the continents and oceans, so our 7 continents: North America, South, European, Asia, Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. And there are 4 main oceans: Arctic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Pacific Ocean. Many maps now categorize these separately, saying Northern Pacific Ocean and Southern, but the main idea here is that they have just one name. On the crust, our plate tectonics move around, and thus we have multiple ways of seeing these plates move. The crust is made up of 16 enormous pieces called tectonic plates. Each plate is a different size, and they move in different ways and amounts constantly. This movement is called a continental drift. There are 3 kinds of continental drifts. One is convergent, which is where 2 plates come together, and that's how they make mountain ranges or deep sea trenches, because they either go up or down together. Divergent, which is 2 plates spreading apart, making earthquakes and magma rise. And the other is transformative, which are 2 plates sliding past each other, making fault valleys or undersea canyons. Different forms of surface land features: mountains and hills and valleys, for obvious reasons; flatlands, which are plains and plateaus; an isthmus, which is a narrow strip of land that connects 2 larger land masses and has water on 2 sides. Peninsula is a piece of land surrounded by water on 3 sides, but connected to larger land masses. Archipelago, a sea or trench of water containing many islands. Tributary, a river or stream flowing into a larger lake or river. And a strait, which is a narrow passage of water connecting two bodies of water. With those in mind, the systems of our planet depend on their locations. First of all, when we look to this, it depends on the water and how it affects the atmosphere. Through the atmosphere, we have layers of gases that surround the Earth and help us contain the ozone. We have the lithosphere, which is the solid rocky outer layer of the Earth. A hydrosphere, which consists of all of Earth's waters like lakes, oceans, glaciers, atmospheric moisture, and others. And the fourth one is biosphere, which is all plant and animal life, high in the air all the way to deep in the oceans. Earth's weather and climate differ depending on their location as well. Climate, which is the average weather conditions in a region or an area over longer periods of time. We have German scientist Vladimir Köppen, pronounced Vladimir Köppen, invented the climate names for each zone area. Earth has 6 basic climate zones: the tropical, desert, humid, temperate, cold temperature, polar, and high mountain zone. Weather during this time in the climate changes in temperature, wind direction, and speed, as well as air moisture over a short period of time. Climate zones, similar patterns of temperature and precipitation, meaning they have similar vegetation in that area, as well as including biomes, areas such as rain, forests, deserts, grasslands, and tundra. Our water cycle on Earth consists of constantly moving water, and it goes from bodies of water to the air, to the ground, and back to bodies of water, making one large circle. This process uses evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. It leads to different climate zones when the sun interacts with them, all throughout the atmosphere. Earth's resources include things for natural and renewable resources. People use the world's resources that are created in the climate zones, biomes, and water cycles on a regular basis. Natural resources are materials from Earth that people use to meet their needs, such as soil, trees, wind, and oil. They provide food, shelter, goods, and energy. Renewable resources are natural resources that cannot be used up or that can be replaced, like rivers, wind, and sun, creating new energy as well as continual energy. Non-renewable resources are in limited supply. Once used up, they are gone, such as iron ore and gold or other fossil fuels. Creating heated homes, running cars, and generating electricity are ways that we get rid of these non-renewable resources. One way to look at this through our world energy consumption is the idea that when there's a larger population, we actually get more rid of things like oil. So when you have the blue areas of the world, you can see that there is a per capita amount since 2003 of over 10,000 gallons used daily, as well as wattage for energy.